Okay, kids, here is the PowerPoint. The body fights back. You guys can look at that on your own. A pathogen is something that causes a disease. So virus and bacteria are types of pathogens. That is in your vocab. Immune system, another vocab word, your body's defenses against diseases and infections. Another word, your body's defenses against anything that doesn't belong to your body. It identifies pathogens and fights them off, physically fights. Often prevents reinfection of the same disease, so it creates a memory so the bad guy can't come back. White blood cells. My 7th grader term is these are the good guys. They're special cells that surround and digest pathogens. You heard that right, they eat them. There are several specialized types of white blood cells. Here's a picture of a white blood cell doing its thing. Here's the white blood cell. Here are the red blood cells. It's a good guy. Hence, feel free to use that for your visual. They are the good guys. Immunity is when the body is able to fight or prevent a disease. So immunity is a good thing. Not that type of immunity. An antigen, which you should be familiar with, but I won't test you on it, is a molecule on a pathogen that identifies what it is. So it labels it. Antibodies are your good guys. So again, white blood cells are your good guys. Antibodies are good guys. They're a protein that's made by the white blood cell for a specific antigen. I'm going to replace antigen and say bad guys. So these guys are your tattletales of the pathogens, the bad guys. And who are they tattling to? White blood cells. This is an example. Going here. There's 4 steps for immunity, meaning how does your body actually get better? First, it needs to recognize the white blood cell surrounds the pathogen, the bad guy, and alerts the other cells. There's a bad guy here. There's a bad guy here. Mobilization. Mobile means they can move. The antibodies are made, and they are made by the white blood cells. Again, so antibodies are your tattletales. So the white blood cells are the good guys. They make tattletales so that they can be told if that bad guy ever comes back in. It's kind of like taking a picture of somebody who steals things at a store so that if they come back in, you recognize them right away. Disposals. Antibodies destroy the pathogen. They normally eat them and then digest them. And then immunity. Some antibodies remain for future use. If you remember, 7th grader term, antibodies are your tattletales. So that means the white blood cells fight off the bad guy once, then they make your tattletale, so if the bad guy ever comes back in, they say, hey, white blood cell, they're back, they're back. You guys feel free to Google right now if you want to look up a white blood cell chasing a bacteria. It's interesting. You can watch that. Now vaccines. This was a vocab word earlier, so make sure you get this down. A vaccine is made of a weakened virus, not bacteria. It's made of a weakened virus, meaning they put the bad guy in you, but they weaken it so much it can no longer cause the disease. But let's think, why in the world would they want to put the bad guy in you? So for these two, they're actually injecting you with the flu, and they're actually injecting you with polio. So let's think about it. Why, oh why, would they want to inject you with the bad guys? Okay, we'll get there in a minute. Most vaccines are for viral infection, meaning virus. Vaccination is given a vaccine by injection or mouth. This is just a verb. It's an action. Okay, vaccines are not always shot form, but that's the one you're familiar with. There can also be nasal. Okay, the vaccine starts the immune system's reaction as if the real pathogen's entering the body. But again, the question is, why would they put the actual bad guy in to prevent the bad guy from coming back? So again, a vaccine starts the immune system reaction as if the real pathogen is entering the body. The body is left with antibodies to fight the disease. Ding, ding, ding! Highlight this. Do what you need to do, but the body is left with antibodies to fight the disease. What were these again, if you guys remember? What was the 7th grader term? Your tattletales. So this is exactly like putting a picture up in a store to prevent the thief from coming back. So antibodies stayed. This is the point right here, people, right here. This is the point of vaccines, to make the tattletale so that the virus can't come back. So you're right, though. They put a weakened virus so that your immune system can fight it. Your immune system will win. And what's the benefit of that winning? Making tattletales so that the bad guy or the pathogen cannot come back. Remember, on the test, you will not be saying bad guy or good guy. You need to use your science words. So part of the virus fights the virus, and these are called antibodies. They normally look like Y's. They're a protein. Again, this won't be on the test, but you should always know a famous scientist. Jenner was the first person that developed a vaccine, and he used a smallpox. He used the live virus. Then Jonas Salk developed a vaccine for polio using the weakened virus. And that is it. So why don't you kids, why don't you red, yellow, and green your notes? Please create a summary. You can use your yellow, red, or green version of the summary. Gist, you can do a movie poster, you can do the Avid summary. Please remember my template is on my website. But please take time and to move up a level in your notes. Remember, no 7th grader in your words on the test. So no tattletale, you need to be able to say antibody. No good guy, you need to be able to say white blood cell. No bad guy, you need to be able to say pathogen. Happy learning.